What's up, homies? What's up, homies? What's up, homies? Welcome to the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. We pick the brains of industry pros to unlock the trade secrets of homeownership. Our mission is simple: to turn everyday people into knowledgeable homeowners. What's up, homies? I'm Sturdy Joe, and this is the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. On this episode, I'm very happy to have on Anne-Marie Little, partner owner of Little John Remodeling. What's up, Annie?
How are you, Joe? What's going on?
We're in the barn.
It's very nice.
Yeah, this is a workspace.
This is my jam.
Yeah. A lot of the other guests are not as comfortable in exposed wires and nail.
No.
This is home.
This is home.
But I know you're looking around thinking how we can finish it up a little better.
I'm looking at it, but it's okay. You did a nice job. I saw it in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it looks
think
good.
the design's fun, but like framing, like if John was in here as a 40-year framer, there's some
That's
funky,
the technical stuff. That's not my thing.
Yeah, there's some funky framing in here. So I know your backstory, but I want you to give me the quick intro: who you are, what you guys do, what's the company.
So I'm Anne-Marie Little, and we started this business 34 years ago, right after we got married. John was framing, came as a framer, and I was working. And we decided he would make more money. He was running the guy's business anyway.
So he was working for another
framing.
contractor.
He was working for another guy, framing all the houses that a lot of Dix Hills houses all over the place.
Yeah,
So
for a day rate.
Yeah,
and
I said to him, why don't we just do it on our own? I know business.
Yeah.
So we just started the business.
34 years.
34 years. Went and got a name. Went the old school way. Went to the library. Looked it up in the book.
Yeah. Little John Remodeling, that's John Little.
That's how we got the logo, because
Yeah.
it's his family crest.
Scottish.
Love
that. Little, right? Because I feel like in Braveheart, that's one of those guys.
Yes, that's his favorite movie.
It's hard to not love that movie. I could see John
Loves that movie.
impaling a guy on a battlefield.
Yeah,
John's a warrior. Yeah, John's got it in him.
Scottish heads.
So John is your business partner and your husband, father of your children, 34-year business
34
partner.
years. We started out just him and I, no help from anybody. The first thing he did, to get work, we put flyers. I made a flyer for him, and told him go put them on the train station. We went to all the seriously, put them all windows in the train station.
Yeah.
Got one of our first biggest jobs that way.
Yeah.
And then they became an architect for us, and they happened to be an architect.
Wow.
We got lucky.
That's how business works, though.
That's how it works.
I'm getting to the point now. It's been 7 years of trying to do my own thing, and it's just amazing how things come back around. And if you just stick it out, if you can't lose if you don't quit, you just stick it out and.
It's just like life. It wasn't easy the first 10 years,
Yeah.
10, 15 years, I would say. It got a little rough at times, but you do
At the beginning, I had somebody tell me that it's going to take about at least 10 years to feel comfortable, and I was like, bro, come on, 10 years. And now, like I said, I can see how in 3 more years I'll be comfortable. Yeah, 100%, because there's great times and there's lean times.
And then we had 4 kids in the mix of it. We didn't have kids in the beginning,
Yeah. Well, I tell Marissa all the time, if we weren't about to have our 3rd kid, the vacations and
kids.
cars we would have right now would be,
We were handing kids off in the parking lot. Because he couldn't pick them up with the work van.
Yeah.
So we'd have to meet me at work, at Price Club.
Paying dividends now, though. Your son Johnny is.
Johnny works for us now.
He's a carpenter himself.
Yes, he's our lead carpenter, which I need another one right now because he's leaving us.
Yeah, he's going into
FDNY. He's in
He'll be back though. They all do. He won't be 5 days a week, but he'll be working.
Yeah, so I need a lead guy.
Once
Hard
they're
to find.
Proby. Yeah,
Carpenters are very hard to find. Good carpenters. Nobody wants to do trades anymore. That's a whole nother side conversation.
This podcast is sponsored by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, which Ryan Anthony owns Long Island Boilers. You would love this guy.
Okay.
And he's a lifelong tradesman. He's out of Babylon, and he had that same
Head Start Fund is what?
So the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund it helps give any kids of any age, grown-up adults, it gives people alternative career paths that aren't just college. So I feel like the basic trope is let's get people into the trades, which obviously they do a lot of that. They work with unions. Yeah, Andy, I'm serious. Like this episode, you're going to see the sponsorship for Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. You should talk to Ryan Anthony. Him and that foundation are doing a lot of really cool things. They're in school districts now. They're working alongside BOCES.
Oh.
Yeah, he do monthly meetings at the Piermont in Babylon. Love that. A lot of the conversations that we've had before about, it's hard to find good work. They're out there. It's just that there's not as many people like you, how my dad was, where it was like, listen, you're not going to thrive in college, but you can make a career for yourself. I can feed my family. I'm doing it now by going into and working for yourself. There's not enough people out there, and what he's doing is bringing those people together because there is plenty of kids out there that want to do it. They just need.
Well, they're also. I just hired 2 guys that I can maybe they're not being guided by their parents.
That's
correctly.
what the problem is.
It's got
they
a
don't
bad
have good
connotation.
guidance.
So I get it. Are they going to make millions? Well, I do pretty good, but I'm doing my own business. I mean, I have 4 kids, whatever. You need to work hard. It takes time. It's look. Construction is not the click of a button. This is what I tell all my clients. I go, you cannot click the button and expect, I know that's what you're used to, but that's not construction. It's manual labor. It takes time. It's the same if you're going to work in it or grow the business. Same thing.
Well, I think that getting into construction and understand that's such a great way to put it about life is like we are so used to this instant gratification. I'm going to be rich right now. I'm going to get what I want right now. And construction is like I did high rise and I knew it. No matter how fast we went, it was going to take 8 months to build that building.
That's right.
And you had to put the work in every day, day in, day out. And that is a thing that I try to apply to life. Like owning a business, the biggest wins I've ever had, they're not really like this one big moment. It's just like the culmination of chipping away every single day.
And it's the gratification. It's a little different. You're seeing something physical when you're done.
Yeah, well,
you've made a client very happy.
Yeah.
Or you are helping people. I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I can pick and choose my clients.
Yeah.
And I left a client yesterday, and even the guy I just left now. They love that. They love everything about it. They listen to me. I listened to them when they were panicking through the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun.
So I think that really brings up a really solid point about like your position in the business now. Like, there's a ton of like husband-wife teams in business, especially in construction. But because I know you personally, like you didn't get into business with your husband because like you were just sitting home and he was like, I need you to send out invoices. Like, you would have been in business no matter what. You were a manager. It's what you do. If John didn't want to do it anymore, it'd be almost wasting your skill set to not even do it in another fashion, like with another business. So, what is your role like in the company? Like, what do you do? John frames.
So John does all the we make a good team, and people hire us because because they like us together. They like the husband and wife team.
Yeah.
You can watch it all on HGTV kind of stuff, not real. John and I are very real. He's the technical guy. He does all the numbers. He knows how to do all the work, all the building, how to I do the scheduling. I place a lot of the orders. I do all the PR stuff. I keep him very happy. All the stuff that needs to be the office running.
Yep.
I do the design work with the client. I talk to the clients all day long. My clients do not have John's number.
Yeah.
They only have mine.
Good.
So they reach me all the time.
So you're the point of contact for the
because otherwise he can't get his work done.
Yeah, he's got to work. He's still, and I mean, when he did the work at my parents' house, like he's tools on. He's letting the guys do his things, but he's working. And talking about like workers today, I do think framers from his generation and before, they're mini engineers. Like he has an engineer's brain and he's got a worker's hands. And I watch like that house, my parents' house was framed horribly, and he's looking at it, and there was no plans that could have prepared you for what those walls were going to open up and see. And he redid that, and he made that so rock solid. Like,
so what makes a good contractor? I think that was one of the things you want to talk about. So John is not a paper contractor. We're not paper contractors. He doesn't just turn out numbers and whatever. He physically works. My client the other day goes, I think your husband went up and down that ladder because we were framing something about 108 times. Yeah, he goes, how is he? I go, he's fine.
He's fine, yeah. He probably feels better.
But it's a dynamics. It's not easy to be married to somebody and work together. You can watch all those wonderful shows on TV. That's why I want to do like one of my own shows. Like I want to do like the real.
Yeah, it's all the outtakes of the other shows.
We fight like cats and dogs. Yeah. I'm like every day. I'm like, are we gonna do the schedule today, or are we just gonna wing it?
All right. So just because so I've known Annie and their family you've known my family since longer I've been alive. All right, they're good family friends. Anne-Marie is, if you walk into a backyard party, you can hear Annie. John, her husband, he's sitting next to her, like kind of laughing and just shaking his head, and that is the dynamic. He is more reserved. When he has something to say, you'll hear it. And you're the extrovert life of the party, and so there's a dynamic there.
But like you were saying before, in a builder, a lot of guys can go into business. But John is smart. He didn't finish his college education, because he had to work. Yeah. So. But he knows when he frames, he does it by math. Yeah. It's sine, cosine. He does it with a calculator. It's not just guessing.
Yeah, framers are mathematicians. It's amazing. Even them figuring out like the rafter cuts using the speed square.
But it's with everything he does within the house. So any sub that comes behind him loves his work because they're like, who did this?
Yeah,
who
it's
did
tight
this?
and it's easy to work
all
on. Yeah. It's square
perfect.
and plumb.
Square, plumb, straight.
Yeah.
If it's not square, plumb, and straight, it's only because he's fixing something that's old.
Yeah, and it's the best we can
And you
get
can only
it.
get it
Yeah.
the best you can get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that's, that's how we roll. I work one-on-one with the clients, all their selections, from, we do a lot of whole gut jobs on houses or gut jobs with additions. I have to help them pick everything, but I give them their homework and I keep them on task.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I need done right now.
Yeah.
ABC, here's your homework. You have till next Friday.
Yeah.
They go into a little bit of state of panic and I'm like, don't panic. Roofing and siding first. He's going to want that right away. Roofing, siding, windows. So let's just focus on this and then we'll do, because people get overwhelmed. It's a ton of decisions to be made.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's an unbelievable amount of decisions, and I think a lot of contractors are worried about just getting the project done, doing the work, having you on that side as the homeowner-facing person, having the conversations. I think if a homeowner wasn't guided, they'd be in the middle of, you'd be in the middle of pouring a foundation.
Well, a lot of times homeowners, there's different types of contractors out there. So there's general contractors that will tell the homeowner, just go get everything and I'll do the work.
Yeah.
Now, we did start that way.
Yeah.
That's how we started.
Of course,
I would do the same thing. They would hire us to do the work.
Yeah.
We evolved into this. We do everything now with our showroom because we became the contractor that's a one-stop shop.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're not, because what we found by doing it the other way, where go pick everything and we'll do it, too many fingers were being pointed.
Yeah.
The cabinet company would say, well, you got to fix it. He had to fix it, but he's the guy there, so he's fixing everybody else's mistakes.
It wasn't a smooth process.
No, the homeowner, they bought the wrong plumbing stuff. I had to send them to do it. I do it all right now. If I screwed up on something I ordered, I get it. I get it quick. I have my contacts. It's easier. I have my subs that work for me directly. They know what we like. We know what they like. Makes the job go 100% smoother.
Yeah, so and on that scope, so we're talking, when you're building a house, you're doing an extension or renovation, what questions to ask, what part of the process we need to start worrying about certain things. Because what I've noticed is like homeowners have an idea of what they want, but like I said, we're in a beginning phase of the project and they're sitting here worried about doorknobs, where it's like we got a lot going on between now and then before they got to
So the biggest thing homeowners could do to make their jobs go smooth is when they're, first of all, hire a contractor that they trust. That's what I tell people all the time. Hire who you trust. If you're getting an uneasy feeling and you don't feel like you could talk to me, then don't hire me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe my voice bothers you. Maybe you don't want to listen to me.
I
That's
like that.
fine.
I like that
don't
you say
hire
that
me.
because when people ask me for referrals all the time, and I say if I don't know the person I'm referring, I'll tell them I've never worked with them, I've heard good things, or interviewed them. But even if I know them, I say, listen, I like them. You need to connect with them because the renovation process, if they're just doing a couple steps, whatever, if they're doing a renovation, you become part of their life for a
We're together
good
for
chunk.
6 months.
Yeah,
You need to like me.
Yeah, you're day in and day out, and you need to be able to. I think the biggest problem is that communication in life is the biggest thing, and I've seen homeowners get disgruntled because they don't know how to communicate, or maybe they just picked a contractor that they don't feel comfortable talking to. So like a reoccurring issue.
It's a trust thing. Contractors, I work. One of the reasons I said yes to the show is because I work very hard on changing the contractor's image because we are not that contractor. I'm not the slime contractor. I'm not looking to rip you off. You hear nightmare stories. I gave them $30,000 up front. I haven't heard from them. I've done this. I've done that. Every time we're bidding a job, I tell people, they ask me, you should ask me. I tell them what to ask. You should ask what the payment schedule is. Because if someone's going to ask you for 50% up front or a third, and a third, I'd worry about that. I wouldn't do it. It's not how I would suggest you do the job. That means they need your money to run their job, and then they're not running their business.
So again, let's pretend I wanted to do a project. I've never done a project before. What do you mean by payment schedule? What is that?
So on the contract, you need to have a payment schedule. I'm not selling you a $20 item. I tell people this all the time. I go, I'm selling you $200,000, $400,000 jobs, $100,000 job. Yeah. You need to know how you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
We work on a payment schedule, which is how it should be. Some guys work on, like I said, a third,
there's different ways that people do it. So you're on a payment schedule, and the payment schedule is based on the progress?
Progress payments. Okay. Start of job, gut the house, framing complete, everything is sheetrocked, and you pay me after my work is done. So you are always ahead of me.
Yeah, you approve it. Yeah.
All the kitchen cabinets are installed, you pay me.
I got you. Yeah, that's what you mean by them laying it out. Is you're doing all the work and paying for the material first.
I always tell people, let's say there is a problem. I'm 34 years, I've never had one. Yeah. We leave even.
Yeah.
We leave with you ahead of the game because I've done the work and you're pissed at me.
Yeah, they've realistically never paid for something they didn't get.
No.
They get it first and
best
then
way
they
to
pay
do
for
it. You got to make sure all your people coming into your home are licensed and insured.
Yeah.
You're not doing your homework, that's on you.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you need certificates of insurance listing you as additionally insured.
How do I find out if somebody has, what is a certificate of insurance? How do I do that?
So it's they should offer it to you. So if a contractor doesn't say to you, don't worry, I'm going to give you all the certificates listing you as additionally insured. You get a certificate from their insurance company.
Any project, big or small? There's a bathroom to a renovation.
From a garage door company.
Yeah, a licensed contractor should be putting the homeowner as additionally insured in case I trip over their something?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
If you don't do that, you're in trouble.
So in a sense, if I was interviewing contractors and I had this I'm going to take out a jumbo loan, whatever, and I'm going to spend my life savings on a contract.
You can do it for your driveway.
But what I'm saying is because I like ways, because people don't understand how to differentiate quality in contractors. Everybody seems great in the beginning. So one of the things is like try to look for red flags. So potentially, if I had a contractor who is bringing up a point like, listen, I'm going to put you on the certificate of insurance, not saying that's the end-all be-all, but that's one positive check mark. Like, hey, this is a professional. They're going to do the right thing. They're looking out for our best interests.
Correct. Okay. But even the subs coming into the house, because there's this law called the scaffold law. I'm not going to
explain scaffold law is crazy.
New York State, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the general contractor, but I'm bringing in my plumber, my electrician, my mason.
Yep.
I have to give you certificates with you named on it as additionally insured from them. Because this way you're covered. If their guy comes into your job and gets hurt, trips and falls, whatever, breaks a leg, they can sue you then.
Yeah.
So if you're not additionally insured under their insurance company, then you're in trouble. You could lose your whole house.
Yeah. And now a word from our sponsor, the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. This foundation is focused on providing alternative career paths for young people other than just college. If you want to learn more about what they got going on and some updates, you can check them out at lookwhomadeit.org. Now back to the show.
So those are conversations that you're having in, like, not that you're going to tell them that, but you're going to.
I do tell them.
Yeah, in the proposal process. So this is all in essentially a proposal that when you make the bid on the job.
This is all in the beginning when I'm making a presentation. So John will, you want me to tell you how it goes?
No, why not?
Process?
Yeah.
So somebody will call me. I usually feel them out a little bit, try to get a good feel if they're going to be a good client or not.
Yeah.
And that's taken years.
Qualifying leads. Yeah, that's
taken a long time to learn.
Yeah, I hear it where I hear people complain about contractors, and listen, like you said, there's a ton of contractors.
Yeah,
anybody can be a contractor. And then there's people who actually appreciate the trade and do a good job, right? The good thing about, I love the small towns for referrals because you can't hide. The guy who did the house across the street, he did a house down the block. I see him at the deli. You can't hide. And I deal with the same thing. I've done a dozen houses in this neighborhood. I can't hide. I have to be ethical. I have to do a good
100%.
job. So what we were talking about with the, why did I just blank so hard? I started filibustering.
You said, what is my process?
Yeah.
Lead process? Is that what you asked me?
We were talking about putting bids in.
Right. So I get the phone calls.
Qualifying leads. Yeah.
So people will call me
I want to finish my point. We're back. I want to wait, my brain just went.
Go ahead.
Qualifying leads. I hear people in towns complaining about contractors that I've seen their work, and nobody's perfect. But I hear the things they're complaining about, and I laugh with enough experience where I'm like, you were probably just a shitty client. You were probably just a shitty client. And sometimes, listen, maybe they're not, but sometimes you can just tell, like, no, maybe it was you.
Right. I mean, look, I qualify we had to get rid of only in 34 years, knock on wood, we were very lucky, 2 clients. Never have we done that other than, was it 2? Maybe 2. One job we never even started, thank God. And one job we were like, look, we're just going to part ways. But so I get a feel for them. There's a couple times I read people wrong. You know, I have an A-type personality. One time I had a client, she was just like me. In the beginning was like, I'm not taking this job, John. I don't want this job. She was one of my best clients.
Yeah, because
she was on
too similar. Yeah,
like
but it ended up working out.
Made my life easy.
Yeah.
But she wasn't conforming to my routine. You know, I wanted her to come in. So John goes, I think they're going to be a good job. They're willing to wait. They're listening to what I'm saying. Because I give them the lowdown on how I operate right on the phone. Some people don't like that. Some people want to control their own job. Yeah. And that's fine. Then I'm not going to waste John's time.
Yeah, you can't
or I let them know what my schedule is right from the beginning.
Yeah.
So if you are not willing to wait, you're pretty much going to screw yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get someone that's not busy, which...
Well, we just recently had an architect talking about timeline, and I mean, if you're doing a real renovation, like rushing isn't going to work out, especially if we're pulling permits.
No.
Things take forever anyway, so realistic about the timeline. Like I have contractors, when I meet a new contractor and I really connect with them, I'm like, listen, what's your information? I always like referring different people, and they're like, well, honestly, I'm like 18 months out, 2 years out. I'm like, that's fine. That's kind of when I tell people it's going to take that long. You know, I might not want the guy, unless we're doing, you know, if you want something small, quick, cheap, that's not going to last a long time, sure, I'll hire the guy who's free next weekend. But major renovation
It's
of a
a
home,
rarity that you're going to get somebody once in a while, because the way things are in the world right now, somebody called me and I could squeeze them in.
Yeah.
But when I do that, I'm very clear. I go, you are a fill-in for me.
Yeah.
I go, so don't expect me. I don't run my jobs on a fill-in job the way I would run a regular job.
Yeah.
That's completely different. You're a filler. I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm waiting on this. I need to keep my guys busy.
I got a cancellation. You're filling
my guys
in,
have been employed by me for 20 years. I need to keep them busy. That is my job. That's part of my job.
It is as a
so
tradesperson
I do
owner.
payroll. I do all that.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that I keep them busy. So when I have this downfall and I have a filling job, I let them know that, look, I might not be there every day, because on my jobs that are in the schedule, someone is there every day. I don't leave you for months at a time.
Yeah.
So the people that I'm very clear, so they don't get mad at me and be like, we haven't had anybody here for 2 weeks or whatever. You were a fill-in. I told you that from the beginning.
Yeah.
You got to remember that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use you when
so
my
that
guys
makes
are
sense.
not working.
Yeah, because they got to jump the line. They got lucky that they
got lucky.
can.
It's
they want
usually
the, they
a
don't want to wait for
smaller
the
job.
Yeah,
it's nothing
exactly.
any big.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I talk to the people. John goes out. He meets them. He looks at the plans. He gives them a price. We come up with an estimate. He doesn't give. He's not one of those guys that writes the $250,000 on a piece of paper and says, here it is.
Yeah.
Line item.
Yeah.
We meet the client. I make them come into the showroom. I just don't mail it to them.
Yeah.
They have to come into the showroom.
We got to talk about this proposal.
Well, now they need to meet me.
Yeah.
Because now I need to.
That's part of the sale.
I need to know that you're serious about, is this number within your budget? Maybe it's not. Maybe you were not lied to. Maybe misconceptions were given to you.
Well, I think that's a huge thing. That was one of the questions I want to ask you is like how does a homeowner set a realistic expectation on the budget? Because like a lot of contractors will come in and just give a number, and then at the end, it's not really that number. You know what I mean? And it's not much change. So like how could a homeowner set, like if I have your bid, and I guess this is what you do. You bring them in and you talk to them and say, this is what is actually costing it. How do they compare that to another bid that is maybe lower?
We do that a lot. So I compare, a lot of times I'll say to them, they might say to them, well, you know, you're $70,000 more than the other guy.
Yeah.
Bring me in the bid and I'm happy to review it with you.
Yeah.
John will go over it line by line. So you could see what's missing where.
Yeah.
On my jobs, and what homeowners need to pay attention to, and a lot of them don't, what is here is what's getting done. What is on those plans is what's getting done. People don't pay attention to that. So they'll say, oh, I assumed. When I'm presenting to them, I will tell them just this. I go, don't assume.
Yeah.
I go, because if it's not written here,
Yeah.
you need to ask me and I'm going to tell you if it's going to get done or not.
Yeah.
Because if it's not written down here, it's not getting
so
done.
you're saying, because that's what a proposal is. This is the work, this is what's included.
Line item.
Yeah,
how
so-
many hi-hats they're getting, how many outlets they're getting.
Which I think there's so much gray area with what can be done, and people will make assumptions. I do it, my service is as black as white as it can be, and I lay out exactly what I'm going to do, and I say what it isn't. So with contracting, that's super important. And I had a friend who's a very, very good sales rep. He works in a different kind of sales, but he was getting bids for a job on his house, and he had a very fancy contractor, but you could tell the guy was a little bit like he came out of nowhere. He got like kind of hot quick, and he gave him a bid, and it had line items on it, but when he actually like read through it, it was like copy and pasted off like the internet. None of it made sense. He was like, I don't remember the exact details, but so you actually sit down and go over
line by line.
And I can ask the questions like, what is this and what is that?
Yeah, line by. Well, why does it? A lot of people will say to me, well, how come dumpsters cost this much? Why am I paying this much for demo? Can I demo myself? People will ask me that if they need to save money.
Yeah.
You know, but it's line by line so they can see it.
Yeah.
You know, and then on the bottom it will say what it doesn't include. You know, like I don't include fixtures.
Okay.
For instance.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when I present
There's
this.
so much variation.
I don't
to what
know
you
if
want.
you're buying. I use the same example all the time. You could buy a $100 toilet, or you could buy a $8,000 toilet.
Yeah, so I can't project that.
I don't know you yet.
Yeah.
I don't know where your selections are going. I don't know how to guide you.
Yeah,
I
that
can
makes
save
sense.
you money
Yeah.
on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know your style yet. So once you decide you think you want to use me, I will then say to you, okay, here's how much you need to budget for fixtures, for the bathroom, for the kitchen.
So you're just communicating with them along the way.
Right, and then you'll have a total cost.
Yeah.
And they may say to me, well, how much do you think it might be for all these? And I said, well, if I go middle of the road right now, I'll give them a number.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go buku crazy on me, or you want higher end,
it can go so crazy, especially when fixtures. You got a dozen of them in the house. It can go nuts. Yeah.
Same with countertops or whatever it is. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the cost of it's funny. Like when I'm doing an inspection on a client and I do some really nice areas, some regular areas, but the reading a person and like sometimes you could tell it's like somebody else might be able to do this renovation for $100. But with your taste, it's going to be probably $250 because there's just a standard that people have where they're just not going to go below it.
Yeah,
it's what
fine.
they want.
That's all good.
Yeah. So money is obviously a big thing. Budgeting is a big thing. But I think there's also the other parts of the construction process where things get funny. Is there any maybe not so obvious tips you could give to a homeowner who they're getting ready for the project? Your crew's coming Monday.
I am full of information. So this is fun for me. So this is something I wanted to do, like at the library does informational things. I would love to answer people's questions. Some people will walk away and be like, she's full of shit. Sorry. Some people will walk away.
We say shit here.
Sorry. Some people will, I'm a contractor girl. I'm a little rough around the edges. But some people will walk away and be like, oh, she really knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm not, if you get to know me or if people ask about me around, like you said, around town or whatever, they'll know like I shoot straight from the hip. I go, I tell you like it is. You might not like it. You don't want to hear what I have to say. But at least I always know
what you're thinking.
But, right. So you asked me the question of what
how can I prep? If I know you guys are coming Monday and
so
I'm doing an extension on my house, what should I do?
Well, at that point, we've been talking a long time.
Yeah. So you would
they know when I'm getting ready at that point, because at that point
the cabinets are empty and
I let them know how to prep the house. I let them know. I go to the house the week before. I meet with them.
And what does prep the house mean? Just cleaning up, moving shoes out of the way,
or depends on what's going on in the house.
Scale the project. Yeah.
Like now, I'm gutting this house. The homeowner was going to try and live in the other half of the house, and he's like, wait, just something we could stay here.
Yeah.
I said, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Your choice. We told you that it was going to be tough and rough.
Yeah.
Some people can do it. Some people can't. If I'm doing a kitchen, I got to get everything out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
I let them know what is going to happen. It's going to be dusty and noisy that first day. I don't need people to be home.
Yeah.
The best thing they could be is out of my way.
Yeah.
Stay out of my way.
I mean, that's just liability-wise, comfort-wise, headache-wise.
A lot of guys, people want to watch. Sometimes I'm doing a lot of work for more older clients that are retired.
Ugh.
I used very nice words, didn't I?
They're just sitting there. They got their finger in their belly button.
They're like, we're just very interested. And that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they stay out of their way.
Yeah.
Let the guys do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Because if you stop and make them talk, it's slow me down. It's costing me money.
I can't, when, my buddies are doing the work over here and I would intentionally wait. I knew they wrapped up around 4. I would intentionally wait till 3:50 because I ruined their day because I can't not do it. I can't shoot the shit with the guys. I can't bless their child. I got to do it. So I would wait. I'm always a good homer. I got to let the guys work because they're not the bosses and I don't want to get them in trouble. So, you got to let them. So, all right. So you go through.
So I go to the house and I let them know what's going to happen. I let them know when the dumpsters are coming. Again, part of my job. I let them know to make sure the cars are out of the way. What time the guys are there. My guys come every Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. I go over a lot of this in the beginning, but I tell them again before. We don't work week. People say, oh, you're going to come on Sunday. No, we don't work weekends. By Saturday, Sunday, you do not want me in your house.
Yeah.
You're going to be sick and tired of my guys showing up at your door to coordinate.
Well, I think what makes you guys an outlier is you're a legitimate business where a lot of people in construction, it's cash workers, it's undocumented workers. Like you guys are...
I'm very clear. Like I said,
your labor laws.
The only way I would work on a Saturday is if I ripped your roof open and I'm racing the rain.
Yeah, we got to close it up.
I got to close it up.
Yeah. All right, so we're talking about money, and one of the questions I thought would be good too is is there any ways to save money during the process that isn't just going cheaper on, buying a cheaper toilet? Is there any things during the process to save money?
People ask that all the time, and it depends. I have one job now, and they're so desperately, they're hiring me. And they have gone back and forth a million times, and we've sat down with them 3 times, that they can change, save this much. They need to be at a certain number.
Yeah.
But they need to take off, we're not talking we're talking thousands, but 40, 50,000.
Yeah, big stuff.
That is and people don't want to hear it, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They want to change they have to change the scope of work.
Yeah, that's an absurd amount of money.
Right now, at this point, they're married to these plans. They've been working on these plans for 6 months. They love these plans.
Yeah.
I get the position you're in.
Yeah.
I get it. But if you want to save that kind of money, you have to change the scope of work, meaning take off the basement, take off the back room. You can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
You can't just you can't nickel and dime like, oh, well, if I don't do this vanity, that's not going to save you what you need to save.
Yeah, it's not going to be there.
So depending on what you need to save.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people all the time, look, I will help you save money along the way.
Yeah.
In your selection.
You just got to be realistic about it.
But you got to listen to me. You know, there's ways to save as far as what kind of windows you want to do, what kind of siding you want to do, but you're not going to save thousands.
Yeah,
you're going to save.
The price is going to be the price.
Right.
And that's it.
You want to do say plumbing fixtures. I tell people all the time. Nobody knows this. I go, the finish is what was going to cost you money. So if you stick with chrome on plumbing, the least expensive. Every other finish goes up and up and up. Brushed nickel, black, brushed gold, all a lot more.
And
money.
those things start to go in as we're getting towards the end of the project anyway, and we're kind of running low on funds.
Everybody's running out of money anyway.
Yeah, we're putting it on the credit card anyway, so maybe we get the builder card and then
and you put it on and you do what I tell you. And I tell, if they listen to me, you know, a lot of times, again, you need to trust me. Listen to me when I'm telling you. I'm not lying to you. I'm gonna guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, some people when it comes to money though, it's so like they're just so obsessed with getting a deal. I've had clients where I've talked about their projects they have going on, and we talk about numbers, and it's like they got numbers based on plans. They're like, but I'm gonna try and get it down to this much a square foot, and it's like, I kind of think you're gonna have a hard time with that. Like, I don't think that's gonna go like the price is the price. Like, yeah, how much do I really want to lower the price? If that's how much it's supposed to cost to do the project,
in the long run.
That's it. You're gonna pay somewhere.
Somewhere along the line, you're gonna pay, and then you're gonna come back. I had a client just recently, a fill-in. They were wonderful. They wanted to redo this kitchen. They called me probably 6 months ago. They loved me, but they just didn't think they could afford me. Blah blah blah. So they went another route. He ended up calling me because he ordered cabinets from somewhere else, but he wanted me to do the install. He just felt he was getting the runaround from these people. He didn't trust them, blah, blah, blah. And I said to him when he called me, and I felt bad, but I'm getting old enough now that I can say it. I go, can I just say I told you so? He goes, I know, Anne-Marie. I go, but let me see what I can do. He was having a baby. I had to help him out. I felt bad.
Yeah.
So we did. But again, there was definitely those issues. John goes, we should really not do this, Anne-Marie. I go, we had to keep the guys busy. You know, it was back and forth because I had to install somebody else's cabinets. It wasn't right. I had to wait on them. They're getting antsy.
Yeah.
You know, again, it was too many hands in the pot.
Yeah. The things you try to avoid, but like you said, it always comes back to a little bit.
One thing that people need to know when they're doing renovations or an addition or big jobs, like a lot of the younger couples, this would be a younger couple advice. You're buying a new house. So excited. You want to be in this house. But you know, it's an older home, and you want to renovate it, and you want to do this, and you want to do that, and you want to do this. They call me right away all the time, and they're going to go get plans, and what do I do? They don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense to bring in a general contractor to give you a number. If you tell me what you want to do, I will give you a total ballpark number, so you have an idea.
But until we know exactly what it is,
you're going to be in the $50,000 to $100,000 range, or you're going to be in 150. So
exactly.
You know
it sets the digits, but it ain't going to be specific.
But what I tell them, and most of the ones that listen to me will come back to me all the time and thank me. I go, live in the house.
Yeah.
Live in the house for 6 months to a year. Learn your travel pattern.
That's it.
You telling me you think you're going to come through that front door? Maybe you're not.
I did mine right away. Right? I did mine right away. If I would have waited 6 months, I would have put my kitchen along the back side of the wall. It's done. I would have done this, what I did now.
You didn't talk to me.
You did, actually, Annie. You were the first. You and John came to my house. Do you remember? We did a little inspection. You guys were here, but we weren't designing it. But I laugh all the time because I'll be doing a home inspection, and they're already got like in their brain, like I'm gonna put this over here, and this over here, and this over here. It's like, I don't know. I think you're gonna, like I said, live in it.
Live in the house. See how your kids are gonna come in. If you don't have a kid, just see how you want to use the house.
Yeah.
And then make a decision. And then if you're really honest about it, this is how I now can feel people out is. Then you'll see the architect. Start with an architect. Do not waste your time with me. It's a waste of my time.
I love telling them to start with an architect.
It's a waste of my time. I'm not going to look at it.
Yeah, because there's so much BS that goes into that process, and we don't even know what the house is going to be. You have to do bids off of real things. I can say, oh, we're going to bump this out. I'm going to bump that out. No, we need numbers. We need to know what we're looking at. We need
I'm giving you arbitrary. That's why I can give you. If you have to figure out what it's going to cost, like if you need to know, like say you're going in a blind. Most they don't know.
They think they're going to spend $10,000 on this, and like that's a $40,000 thing. Yeah.
Right. So even like someone will call me if I want to renovate a bathroom. So I can tell them, I go, look, for me to renovate a bathroom, 5x7 bathroom, the whole thing, redo it, you're looking at $20,000.
Yeah.
And they're like, I go, I understand. But that's for me to do it. If you want to hire a guy in a truck, be my guest.
Guy in a truck's still $15,000 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really,
supplies
you can
expensive.
really rig it up, but it's, and I have this conversation a lot where homeowners are coming in and like, listen, if they're uncles or whatever, blah, 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 they can do it themselves. But like, I love the general ballpark of prices just to set their expectations, because so many people think they're going to spend thousands. You're not going to spend thousands on anything. You're going to spend tens of thousands and more on everything. So, it's just kind of set the expectation.
Yeah, I mean, so this is, I know, I always say to them, look, I'm the bearer of bad news. I can hear it in your voice, but call around and see what it is. And then if you want to call me back, you call me back. That's fine. But I'm happy to help and answer any of your questions. Don't worry, call me back. It's fine. I don't mind, because I want people to get, otherwise they get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't like to, and then it gives again, I'm trying to prevent the bad reputation for general contractors.
Yeah.
And the one thing I always tell people, I go, look, you better make sure you have people that are legal coming into your home, that are getting paid on the books.
Yeah.
I go, because that's what I do. So if you're comparing numbers,
it's not even
going to be the same.
Yeah, the labor law stuff's getting pretty crazy, scary too, and it all comes back, as a GC, it all comes back to you, which is a totally different episode with the labor law. But I've heard some crazy nightmare stories. But
even insurances are insane.
Yeah. But it also, again, when we're qualifying our contractors on picking bids out, like I know the company that is paying payroll and is paying workman's comp, they're a pretty quality company. They've been around for some time, and they're doing business and bringing business in, because they got to stay afloat. You have a way more overhead than the guy who's just paying cash.
I have my guys who I've loved my guys. They're with me for 20 years.
Exactly, and for you to survive in a market where, like I said, everybody knows everybody, and you have to do quality work. So again, like, sort of qualifying.
And that's one thing that I tell when I'm selling, part of qualifying and selling the jobs. I go, I'm in the area. I go, my kids are here. I go, I can't show my face somewhere if I don't do the right job.
Yeah.
And I tell my guys that too. I go, we're going into people's homes.
Yeah.
I go, that know me.
Yeah.
I said, so don't ruin my reputation.
Yeah. I love that.
I kill them.
Yeah, no. But, and I think we can go on for probably like 3 more hours, but I think we're getting pretty close.
Okay.
So,
Any other pertinent questions?
I really just, it's knowledgeable homeowner. So like, I just, anything that you wish, like, homeowners just understood. But I feel like there's just so many of those things, especially like.
Well, we gave them a lot of it.
Yeah, I think we gave them a
lot of good points. They understand, they can always ask. They should ask questions, and not, if they're afraid to ask somebody a question that's a general contractor, then that's a problem.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, is ask questions. Talk to more than just one person.
And don't think HGTV is how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I hope at this point. You know what's funny is, like, social media and TV glorified everything for so long, but now like TikTok and Reels shows the disaster side of stuff pretty well. So I feel like people, like, I get it with clients where they're coming in, they'll be like, oh, is that this? I saw that on a TikTok, and I'm laughing. I'm like, look, you getting your defects off the internet, but at least they're seeing the real side of it.
So my goal is to have a show.
Yeah.
Cool, like the Chip and Joanna Gaines, because John Little and Amory Little, right?
Nice, the Littles.
The real contractor.
Yeah.
The real reality, but real, like so real.
Yeah.
Like, watch me scream at him on Fridays that I need a schedule for next week.
Well, you could just have the media guys just record your phone calls during the day and just have a bit of, Annie yelled at John again.
That was last night. Last night I was like, go ahead, try and do it without me. Go ahead.
Nice.
Go ahead, do it without me.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think you guys have an amazing partnership as a business.
It works.
Yeah, but I feel like so many contractors are missing what you bring to the table, and you bring so much to the table. Like John is a top-notch 1% carpenter, but that doesn't always bring the business forward, and I see so many amazing tradespeople that, like, they can't take it to the next level, and they're stressing out. And some guys go back and work for companies. They're amazing carpenters, amazing whatever they are. They go back and work for companies because it's the business side of it kind of kills it for them.
Right, because that's not what their forte.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the guys go into the business. Look, my husband and son, hands down. Because they don't like to do that business end of it.
Yeah.
They're not good with people. They like to do their craft.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the business end of
Yeah.
it. They're not computer. Otherwise, they'd be doing it.
Yeah,
right?
true.
They're nail and hammer guys.
Yeah.
That's what I call them.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. They would not be busting their ass doing that if they.
No,
working hard.
I have to help them along that way. That's why.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of my subs that too. Like, maybe you should get somebody in the office to do this for you. Maybe, I usually, I share my bookkeeper with 2 of my subs because she bops from place to place and takes care of all their paperwork for them.
Yeah. HR people, accounting, bookkeeping is so good for construction.
But we can. Any questions you have, give me a shout.
All right, and are you guys on social media yet? Do you want to plug your Instagram? Plug your Instagram, Annie.
Am I on Instagram?
I think you are.
I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm really bad at keeping it up.
It's okay. Well, now you're gonna have clips from this, and we're gonna post it on your Instagram. So where can we find you?
It's Little John Remodeling. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have the House page. I'm on Better Business Bureau. I'm on all those.
Oh, great.
I don't keep them up to date, but I'm on all of them.
Yeah.
I have to do more of that.
Yeah, we're gonna. Thank you so much,
Someone's
Annie.
going to teach me. Thank you for
Annie's the
inviting me. It was
best.
fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank
Reach out
you.
to Annie for any renovation projects. And you should do like that content we do, like how you want to do the library town hall meeting, we should do that. Let's plan that out, and we can just make that a video. Instead of it being a town hall, we can make it a video. I think that would be some good stuff. So let's look out for that. But until next time, stay knowledgeable.
Nice meeting everybody.